DJ Mustard has produced some of the biggest songs of the 20th and 21st centuries.
Aye, Mustard on the beat, ho, Debo, any rap nigga, he a freak though.
That girl is a real crowd, please. I don't fuck with you.
I'm going to break down his signature styles, melody techniques, secret samples, drum sequencing strategies, secret percussion, and more. I actually hacked into his computer and found some of the project files for his most popular songs.
Voice recognition needed.
Ketchup sucks. So stick around to see them and even download them for free. Mustard's club dance style beats are so iconic. Have a look at the projects for these hit songs.
Breezy.
Give me all that you got now.
I woke up Chris Breezy. Oh my God, I'm the man. I'm so fly and I can dance.
I'm going to start with a bell from the Producer Growth Kit. I'm going to grab this one here. It has a nice tail and a nice delay. It's good to get the rhythm for the pluck down first. I'm just going to record this sequence. It doesn't have to be perfect at all. Now you have the bounce, it's time to go and add the melodics for the melody. I added these descending notes here. I'm going to add a higher note up here to add some bounce. I'm going to do the same thing for the second section, but I'm going to make this A hold for a little bit longer. It holds so much tension if you can hold that kind of middle note there before you have the resolution, which is the G sharp. When I hacked Mustard's computer, I actually found the pluck sample he uses in most of his tracks. And this is the catchy pluck sequence we have to start. I grabbed this bell from the Producer Growth Kit. I'm going to add a slide note down the bottom, and it adds this really cool kind of bounce to the track. Side note, I was surprised with how many of Mustard's beats are in 97 or 98 BPM. I don't know why that's the main BPM he chooses. I have this bass line here which follows the main sequence. I'm actually going to increase the octave of the first note and slightly delay it. If you listen to the song No Mediocre, you'll hear sometimes the bell is ascending while the bass is descending.
Fuck bad bitches, I don't want no mediocre. Don't want no mediocre, I don't want no mediocre. No, bad bitches only.
It's cool to add these differences and inconsistencies with your bass line. If it just follows the pluck, it could be pretty boring and you're missing out on a lot of bounce. 2 On has this awesome kind of string riff that comes in a bit later. I added this here. I grabbed this lead here and I turned mono glide on. You can do this in most plugins by going into settings and turning on porta or mono. We get this really cool kind of sliding effect. It's something we can bring in later and to make this melody feel like it's more energetic and like it's breathing. I added this gross beat sidechain. The points are normally lower. I increased the volume of it to make it more subtle. And it gives it a kind of pulsing dance effect. If you like, you can add a gate effect like Needed Me. But I feel like the sidechain is perfectly subtle. We have these strings here. And this alternate bell, which I can bring in later, which has a ton of delay and it sounds super wide. I feel like Mustard's melodies tend to have a separation between the verse and the hook. The verse is usually very simple. So with the pluck and bass line on their own, it'll sound really good with the beat on it. And later for the hook to make it wider, I've brought in some of these other layers. It's time to create the iconic Mustard drums for this beat. I have this very crisp clap. And something I'm doing to the end, which is really special, and you'll probably recognize it when you hear it, is this kind of clap feel here with an ascending sequence. This is in so many of Mustard's tracks, like this section in 2 On, for example. I'm going to grab this other clap from the Producer Growth Kit and place it just at the end here, right after when that snare fill comes in. I'm going to add tons of reverb to it. It's so powerful how this leads into the next 8-bar sequence and it makes it flow so nicely. We have an open hi-hat here, which comes in right before the clap, which adds so much bounce to the track. I have this kick and 808 sequence. The 808 is following the main root notes for the bell. I'm going to add the iconic Mustard chant sample. Mustard! No, not that one, this one. You can bring it in less frequently if you want. This is another very common timing for it. It's so good to add some ear candy to blend everything together. I have this effect here from the Producer Growth Kit. It's like a percussion with some delay, and it adds so much atmosphere at the start. You'll notice Mustard's beats are pretty simple, but they don't feel too basic. I added this shaker here. All these are from the Producer Growth Kit, by the way. This is honestly one of my favorite parts of the beat. I feel like it holds the rhythm without overcrowding it. Mustard recommends messing with the velocity or the timing or the panning before adding more notes. You can add more complexity without adding more notes this way. You'll notice I've done this with the descending sequences and the lower pitch notes. And you can actually go into a randomized tool and go and change the panning and also change the velocity. There's also this jingle here, which comes in at the very start. And I've added this tom fill here, which I absolutely love when this comes in Mustard beats. It actually comes in slightly later in 2-on. And we have the iconic Mustard snap as well. He recommends adding a high pass filter if you put a snap on top of a clap or snare. That way they don't muddy together. I have this EQ here, which is cutting out some of the low end. So it adds the space without muddying the clap or the snare. Even without the melody on this beat, I still feel like it's almost ready to go. I also have this alternate hi-hat, which is going to come in slightly later. Mustard's arrangement is iconic because it really gets people hooked. Even though it's catchy and fairly repetitive, people stick around to listen, which is why the tracks are so popular. There's a really easy way to add tension before a build-up and get that iconic kind of Mustard drop. I duplicated the main pattern here, but the only difference is I've taken out the kick and the 808 for the last 2 bars. I've also gone into the melodies and added this EQ here, which is going to slowly cut off some of the top end and then bring it right back for the drop. This is what it sounds like. I also added this clap roll at the very end. This is similar to the clap fill in Show Me.
'Cause I'ma give you what you need, yeah.
For the intro, we have a few of the melody layers. When the beat comes in, we have a couple of the layers without the open hi-hat, without some of the percussion, and without the Mustard chant. And then we have the pluck that comes in. Then for the next section of the verse, we bring the strings in. We have this EQ automation, and then it goes into the proper hook, which has most of the melody layers. Mustard has some cool kind of fills and chop-ups in his track, just like this one in Up Down. It has a glitch effect, and then it has a kind of tape stop or vinyl stop effect. To do this, I'm gonna add a gross beat just to the drums. I'm gonna use this one here. This last section here is so important because it adds that clap fill. And then we have the vinyl off effect for the melody. Now let's listen to the finished first beat. After this, I'm gonna make a second Mustard style beat with another iconic style. So make sure to stick around until then. Mustard isn't just known for his dance club style beats. He also has soulful hits like Balling and Trip.
I put the new 4Gs on the G. I trap into the bloody bottoms is underneath.
Balling has this awesome intro with these slowed down vocals. I can't sing personally, but we created this insane live vocal collection when building the Producer Growth Kit with some really talented singers. There are so many packs inside the Producer Growth Kit. I'm gonna go into the Vibes R&B sample library. This one is so good with these live vocals. There's also a flute section that comes in slightly later, which I really can't wait to use. I'm gonna stretch it to the right time. And you get this really cool kind of slowed down effect. It feels like you've actually taken this from a vinyl or a popular song. And we have this cool second part of the melody here with the flute that comes in and some vocal pads in the background. For the timing for this second section, I'm actually gonna have it at double the speed as the first section. So we have the cool kind of sampled vibe at the start, and then it goes into the really kind of faster part, which will sound so amazing with some drums on top. I added these guitar scratches from the Producer Growth Kit, which just adds so much warmth to it and makes it feel even more like a real live sample, which really adds to the whole kind of live sample vibe. There's also this live vocal from the Producer Growth Kit, which is kind of like a vocal pad in the background. To find this, I just went in and searched G minor vocal, and there's so many that are in the exact same key because there's like thousands of samples in this pack. We have this jingle effect. And we also have this effect here, which is kind of like an impact on the drop. So before we've added drums to this track, we have this really cool kind of soulful vibe. I added this little guitar riff here, which sounds pretty good. I want it to blend in nicer, so I added this reverb and this delay. I cheated and grabbed the bassline MIDI from the melody because we include all the MIDI for every layer. And this is a really soulful bass line which blends into the background. I grabbed the keys as well. And it's this cool kind of pluck effect. For the intro here, I just grabbed this texture, which fills in a bit of the space in the intro when there isn't the drums. Now it's time for the drum beat. I have this kick and 808 sequence here. It's so important to add spaces with the bass line by cutting it off with some of these muted notes here. Honestly, adding spaces and leaving gaps is probably one of the most important things to do if you want to get that mustard sound. I have a fairly basic clap. I lowered it from C5 down to B, and we have this clap fill at the end here as well. We have a crash in the intro here, and a slightly lower pitched, quieter version that comes in slightly later to fill in some of the spaces. We also have this tom fill here, just like in 2 On. We have a more chill one at the start and a bigger one that comes in later. We have the reverb clap at the very end. An open hi-hat. And some percussion here, which is going to fill in the spaces for later on in the track. You'll notice in the intro for Balling, this is kind of tape stop glitch effect right before the main beat comes in. On the melodies, I'm going to grab this EQ and I'm going to automate this last point here. And I added this slow decline here. So right before the beat comes in, we cut out the top end of the melody. And then bring it back straight away when the beat comes in. I also added this vinyl off effect just for the vocal melodies, which sounds so good for right before the beat comes in. I added a vintage chorus to the main part of the melody here. With it, it feels like it has quite a lot of warmth. When I turn it off, it sounds alright, but it adds so much depth to it with this chorus. It's time to listen to the finished beat. After, I'll show you where you can get the projects for these mustard tracks. I'm going to give you them for free, so make sure to stick around until after that. If you go to the link on the screen, it's the free Google Drive for the MIDI for the chords, the melody, the clap fills, as well as some of the iconic samples that I stole from Mustard's computer when I hacked into it. If you also want to get 3,000 royalty-free samples in MIDI, click the link in the description to get the Producer Growth Kit. It has one-shots, bells, plucks, melodies, live vocals, live guitar, percussion, MIDI, bass lines, live drum loops, processed drum loops, live drum loops, stems, drum sequences, and so much more. If you want to learn how other top producers make their iconic tracks, click one of the recommended videos or the recommended playlist, and I hope to see you there.